Anyway, I don't know. I guess we're just here to talk about shit, old stuff, boomer stuff.
Boomer stuff.
Just a couple pezzers. I don't know. Do we talk about ourselves?
Nah.
No.
We just talk about fucking music.
Alright, music. What are we going to do? I think the idea is what? We're just going to have a look at old albums that were good to us, I suppose, in the
like
growing up. What got us into music?
Yeah. And not the radio.
Yeah. Pez stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh.
Alright. Do you want me to go first?
You can go.
Alright.
I haven't even got an album, so this is just going to be you.
Oh, shit. Alright.
Surprise.
Yeah. So, Finch, What It Is to Burn.
Yeah.
I probably, the thing that made me get into the music completely.
Yeah. So I'm just looking it up. Get it up because I like to see album artwork too.
Alright, yeah. I would have been probably about 13, I reckon. And there was a copy of it, so it was I remember this so vividly. It was like a gold burnt disc.
Yeah.
And it just had on in vivid, Finch, What It Is to Burn written on it in my sister's room.
Yeah.
And I remember I just took it out of her room and I took it to my dad's house and I played it in the CD player and I was like, what is this? I fucking loved it. And I remember I used to, back in the day, obviously because you couldn't download music and stuff because this was the start of the internet kind of thing. Yeah.
You just do the screechy noises on the internet.
I'd have friends ask me to bring the CD over with me. So I'd go to, it was a thing of I want to hang out with Michael because I want to listen to that album too.
Crazy album.
Yeah. With because, what's the song called? Okay.
Where's your list, man?
Yeah, no, but it's alright.
Here it is, the album, 2002.
Yeah, what's song number 9? Track list 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. Project Mayhem.
Yeah, Project Mayhem. Yeah. So that song there is fucking crazy. Even to this day.
That's funny too, because I can imagine how this track 9 because you wouldn't even know.
The song names, I know all the song names. There's Grey Matter and Perfection Through Silence and stuff like that. I know, but I don't know what numbers they are. But I know the numbers. But that was defining moment in so going into 13, probably maybe 14, I was that's what got me into it. And I remember I was studying to be a youth worker at Praxis.
Yeah,
when I was doing Praxis. We went to the South Island and we went to some marae. And there was these guys from Australia there. And I had known Finch and stuff like that, and these guys showed me Chasing Victory because I would told them that I was into Finch, and they showed me Chasing Victory, which is obviously in the same vein of mostly singing and some screaming.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was just a good way to connect with people through music.
Yeah.
That you didn't really get because you couldn't. I don't even know who was pop back then. It would have been Backstreet Boys and stuff, probably.
That was really early. I think that was when I was 5.
Yeah. So, it's not you'd be oh, I really I think I liked Backstreet Boys back then too. But, that was to make friends instead of being oh, I'm into going out to parties or something like that. It was I'm into this listen to this crazy music that no one's ever heard of. Obviously people have, but I don't even know how Finch got to my sister's room. It would have been
she didn't listen to that sort of stuff.
She listened to punk and stuff like that, but because she was friends with all those guys from Antag and everything like that, and that was when she was hanging out with them. So someone would have given her that CD. Yeah. And I just stole it and made it mine.
And then hence it's one of your favourite bands.
Yeah. And then went to Camp David and I had Chasing Victory and Finch under my belt. And then someone showed me Under Oath, and then I brought back, and Under Oath was the change. But it was Finch that opened up that whole entire world of hardcore.
Just hardcore stuff.
And then
screaming in general.
And then I think the thing that carried on from that was then Underworld, the movie, came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, obviously she's ridiculously good-looking vampire, like, sick. But Finch did a song on that, Worms of the Earth.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, these guys are, like, huge. I thought they were, like, the biggest thing in the world. And they, like, had this crazy song on this awesome movie. And then about a year after that, they released Say Hello to Sunshine.
Yeah.
And I remember with Say Hello to Sunshine, that was... internet was still dial-up then. And I remember I'd have to, like... I was downloading a song and it was taking about 5 hours to download the song, but you could preview the songs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was Finch's song Ink. And it was that...
That song's like burnt into my like brain. I used to play like Madden. I think it was Madden 06, and that was like home screen music.
Yeah.
So that song's just like.
And so I remember hearing that. So like obviously you had your like Under Oath and your Chasing Victory and Finch's first album, which is very like standard, kind of 4/4, just riffs. No like. There wasn't any experimentation. But then just hearing that just even opened up my world even further. And like that whole album was, you could just tell that they were just like, hey, this sounds so like philosophical, but like what else is out there? Like,
Yeah, I suppose it's definitely opened up a whole world of it, eh?
Yeah, and being I would have been 15 when that one came out, and so that's at your defining time of like, what are you as a person?
Yeah, for sure. Do you reckon like when you first heard that album, do you reckon it was like, were you into music much at all, or was it just like just another thing? Or do you reckon that was just like the defining sort of like, I'm going to actually get into this because it's something pretty sick?
I think I've always liked music, but the one thing I've always, now that I'm older, thought held me back was when I was younger. We always had a piano in the house, and Mum would always like play hymns and stuff because like real religious, and so like that's all I knew the piano as was like these things to like do all these like brethren fucking old hymns and stuff, and so I didn't really like with friends' parents and stuff. Now that I'm older, you know, listening to Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and stuff, I didn't get any of that, so I didn't get any true music, but I always had music around, and I think that's also what made me interested in it, is because it was so far removed from like...
Yeah, it was just something so weird and different. But yeah, that's sort of like, I don't know, we've had these conversations before where like music for me was always like very like just real straight down the middle, like everything was very like, I don't know, in tune, in beat, like there's nothing crazy about it. And then so I suppose hearing all that shit was sort of good. There's something else out there.
And like,
what is dissonance?
What is it called when like, so you have like, say in a riff you have just your standard strumming of like a chord.
Yeah.
But like, what would it be called with that? Like the start of Finch, where it's like dun, 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 dun. So because that's obviously a chord.
Yeah, just like just picking out the chord.
Yeah. And like, I would have never have heard that before, because like, you know, you'd have guitar solos and stuff in your garage band and everything like that. But
yeah, do you know that's one thing that like, I think that's, I don't know, that's maybe just me being stupid, but nobody ever explained it to me when I was like learning guitar. It was this like, maybe when you were like playing a chord or whatever, I thought everything in a song had to be like chords, because when I would play like one string on like a guitar, it would almost be like way weaker, and I was like, well, that didn't sound good. I want to like, so here I am like trying to play these songs just like full chords,
just like strumming the whole entire thing.
But so just like a lead lick or whatever, and then like trying to play that as a chord, which I don't know, maybe that's a good style to like be like a pioneer of, but it's obviously way harder. But and then obviously getting older and playing guitar for longer, you work out it's like, oh no, this is just them playing one solid string or one fretted note.
Well, and that's one thing, like obviously I never had to learn guitar or anything like that. I did tabs and stuff, and like I've always found it crazy that you'd know what key you're in by like frets, like, because obviously you have to play in a certain key of music, so you can't just fucking put your finger anywhere on a fret and so I just thought that in itself is crazy, as oh, I want to be in this key, and so now my fingers can only be placed in this area. Like with a piano, you can kind of figure it out a bit more, like, but with a guitar, it's like...
Yeah. That's what makes guitar special,
mate. Yeah. So yeah, that Finch album was definitely, it helped me with the group of friends that I have.
Yeah.
And it helped me be who I am and like extend out, because then you hear so many other things, and it made me be like, what else is out there?
Yeah.
And I think even hearing Say Hello to Sunshine branched me in a different direction to all my other friends as well, because I liked the experimental kind of darkness of it, which kind of pushed me into a different direction to everyone else. So like we all had our solid, like everyone liked Under Oath.
And stuff. For sure.
And then we all branched out into our own subgenres of that metalcore kind of hardcore
it's definitely one of those things.
But there was always ones that brought us together, like how we were talking about like Silent Planet before, like album of the year for last year for us. And
that's one thing we'll probably talk about later on. Album of the year every year. Our little tight friends group is
and like that. How we were just all unanimously like, that's album of the year. Let's pick our second favorite as well. Like, because we all just collectively knew that was
like by default. That was for us. Yeah, pretty much on that one. I don't know, epic album anyway.
Yeah, it was good.
But what else was I going to ask? Do you have any like core memories about it? Like if you hear a song, does it like take you back anywhere, like any songs? I know you sort of touched on it.
A lot of it is like from my dad's house, like because obviously my mum and dad broke up. I think I was at my dad's every second weekend or something like that, and I'd just have the weekend, but he'd just be out in the garden and I would just be in the house playing Nintendo 64 and stuff. But I just vividly remember that was where I could play it openly, because my sister didn't like that I stole the CD. She would always try to take it back and stuff. And that was definitely, I think, part of me being like, because she always hung out with like musos and stuff when she was older. And so I was always thought she was cool and stuff. Little did I know. So I think like part of it was me being like, oh, I want to be cool too. And so I couldn't really ever play it at home because she'd just take it back off me. So I just kept it at my dad's house because she never went to dad's house. So it'd be just like being at my dad's house and definitely going to friends' houses and stuff like that. And them wanting that, like it felt like a way of getting people to hang out with me. Like,
loser.
Like they were like, oh, yeah, you can come if you bring this. But
classic friend stuff. Right? Yeah, that's good. And so, what your favorite track? You reckon number 9, whatever that was again?
Nah, that wouldn't be my favorite. Nah, that's just the most crazy.
Yeah. You can just say a number if you remember.
It's like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Grey Matter or
Perfection Through Silence. Or Grey Matter.
Grey Matter.
Yeah.
Grey Matter would be. That's 4.
Yeah.
So that would be. Because it's lyrically as well. Like, I don't know how old they would have been when they wrote it.
Yeah, who knows?
But, like, just all the music in it and everything. It's just so good. And then, like, I think this is all rumors. I don't know if it's, like, actually true with them, but...
Fact check.
But from what I have read and stuff, they had, like, broken up because they had their differences. Because, obviously, the guitarist, R2K... he went into Sound of Animals fighting, which is where, like, so he did Say Hello to Sunshine, where he had his crazy stuff, and then went even crazier with that. And they kind of all broke up and started doing their own things. And I think Nate, the lead singer, did a couple of, like, little solo things, didn't really do too much.
Yeah.
But then, like, 10 years later, they were like, oh, let's get back together. But I think the reason why they broke up was Nate, the lead singer, liked the experimental way that they were going and wanted to keep on branching out that way and get more experimental.
But like didn't want to like almost not taint the name, I guess, of like Finch. Well, just sort of like
it was all the other guys were like, hey, what it is to burn is what's got us famous. It's what's making us money.
Finch.
Let's like keep doing it this way. And I think that's why they initially broke up, was because Nate was like, because you can tell he's like his voice and everything. I reckon he's probably one of the best vocalists even though he does bugger all now, but just like his screaming to singing and everything. He reminds me of Brandon Boyd, like if he was like a screamo. Like if Incubus went screamo is like kind of how Finch would go. And that's almost, you can see that similarities there as well, because like Incubus kept going and kind of got more and more bland dad rock as they went on, and that's kind of how Finch went when they came back together to try and write another album, like trying to follow up on What It Is to Burn, but didn't have any of that impactful. You could just tell that there wasn't that something there. So
and we're like, I know you're like a big lyrics guy anyway as well. Was that like
and that's the other thing, is like you have like Backstreet Boys that are like, I love you. I want it that way. I can't even remember Backstreet Boys, but I like Finch in general. Like all of their lyrics are super good, and the fact that like
the damn dog.
I think it's in Say Hello to Sunshine. He's like talking about how he buried his wife. I buried my wife, and he's like talking about how that's him giving up on love. Like it's not actually about his wife dying. It's him like kind of going through heartbreak.
Just a bit like a way more like
dramatic
way of like saying stuff, poetic. I suppose.
And like there's just certain ways that they would do like the lyrics, and I liked the darkness of it, because that's definitely how I express myself too. I go to extremities, being like, like you don't want to hang out, that means you want me to kill myself, like, you know, like it's just, and I think that's
emo face.
But I think that's partly where I got it from, is I was listening to that stuff, and like it got me into the don't do things normally, like don't be that sucks, you've hurt my feelings, like trying to explain in an original idea of the way that you actually feel, and I think that's carried on in my life.
Well, not that you're like going dark, but
it's alright.
You're here now.
So
I might just check on these damn dogs. Old people things. Sweet.
But
sorry about that.
And so I think Nate is now in a band called Secret Band, I think, or Secret Lives.
I feel like I've heard that.
No, Secret Band's the Dance Gavin Dance ones. I think it's like Secret Lives is what it's called. But I don't know if he's like done it because he's trying to avoid the whole Finch, comparing it to Finch and stuff like that.
Maybe just gone real left field. Or
well, no, he like it's not on any streaming. Like it's not on Spotify. It's not on YouTube or anything. It's on Bandcamp, and you have to like buy it. Like I haven't bought it, so I've only heard like little clips, like because you can hear little 10 or 20-second clips on Bandcamp. And that's all I've heard of it.
Yeah, right. So you just have to straight purchase it.
Yeah. And it was like $14-15, and I've always been poor, so I've like always been like, and like everything else is streamed. So why would I download one thing? That was the other thing. And
then how are you meant to like listen to it? It's like, I'm going to listen to it while I'm on my laptop.
And
it's not it's not effective. I don't know. Maybe there's apps out there.
It's just I think you can on Spotify.
Can you upload stuff to Spotify?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. But yeah, so and it sounds more like alternatively rocky, kind of heading in that Incubus kind of era. But yeah, and I see them tour occasionally, like maybe once a year they'll play a concert or something as Finch, but I just know that they're playing like all the shittier new stuff. Like I didn't mind the new album, but
you're one of those guys, man.
I
don't like the old stuff.
It's just so you can just tell that there's no heart in it.
It's just making songs for the hell of making songs and being a band.
I think they were just like, we can't just tour on these albums, we need more music, and so they just kind of were like, let's do more music.
Well, I always wonder about that with bands when they do like a 10-year tour, like a 10-year anniversary tour of their albums, and they usually sell out pretty well. It's like when August Burns Red did their 10-year, I was like, wow, please come to Australia.
Yeah, but
like Messengers, that would have been just.
But see, August Burns Red also have 7, 8, 9 albums. Finch has 3.
But the whole thing's like I play like my whole album in entirety. That would be their set.
But so see, I feel like they're not big enough, like, because that's like a Guns N' Roses type thing, you know, like, well, even how we're talking about Robbie Williams, like, have you heard about how when he'd play concerts and stuff, he'd play all his hits, but because he would got a record deal, he had to play like new songs from his new album, and he would actually say at his concerts, he'd say like,
my label's making me do it.
Yeah. He'd be like, oh, I know, like, you guys came here for the hits, but like, let me play a couple more. Like, he would like legit say that. Yeah. And so he knew that they were just coming there for the hits, but because he was like contracted to like make a new album and play the songs and stuff.
That's another rabbit hole to go down there with like new bands not being on record labels anymore. That's like another thing that I've like been interested in over the last few years, because so many of those like smaller hardcore bands just like they start with a record label, then go, oh, well, I can independently like produce this new album now, because I don't know, recording's so easy. I've done a little bit here.
I think it's like the distribution's the only thing that would be. You'd just have to know about it.
But
to do it. But like that would be the only.
But I feel like now, if you've got someone in your band, or you just hire someone to be like that's really good at social media, like you'd get there. You might have to pay a little bit in advertising or whatever.
Yeah, but it'll still probably be cheaper than like a whole record label taking
all your doll hairs.
Yeah.
Interesting fact, as soon as I type in like Finch band, there's a band, an Australian band called Finch as well. They were an Australian hard and pub rock band.
Yeah.
From the 70s. There you go. But that's not the one you're talking about, obviously.
No. I wish.
Pub bands, bro.
It's weird that they must have been big enough to like have history on the internet.
Yeah. I guess. There you go. Finch is an American post-hardcore band from California.
Yeah.
Yeah, What Is It to Burn is their most well-known single.
Yeah.
From the album of, say the name.
What It Is to Burn.
Yeah.
That's
cool. What is that? Say Hello to Sunshine peaked within the top 30 on the Billboard 200.
That would have been 2005.
Yeah.
The album came out.
Yeah.
2002, I think, was What It Is to Burn.
Yeah.
I definitely love my Finch.
Yeah, I know all the facts.
I think 2016 might have even been later was the Back to Oblivion.
Yeah. I think there's dates in here, but there might have been. It might be the one 2016. There's a discography 2014 Back to Oblivion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wrong.
So what? I would have been 24.
Yeah, something like that.
10 years ago they released that album. No, fuck, now they haven't released new music in 10 years, and I'm still like, oh, my favorite band.
Yes. Any other interesting facts?
No. Does it say anything about Nate and his other band? Band. Maybe it's like...
What?
I'm just trying to think of the name of the band. I can't remember. I think it has band in the name. I can't remember.
Hold on.
Private Band? Maybe it was called Private Band or something like that.
There's not even... I can't even click on his name to take me...
See, they're not even famous enough to fucking...
Is it Barcelo or Barcelo?
Yeah, something like
Nate Barcelo.
That's why I haven't been saying his last name, because I don't know how to say it.
Who cares, mate? We'll get corrected if someone cares to watch this anyway. So I'm like, it's this way, you say it like this. Oh. Band, where is it? No, I don't know.
Alright.
Hold on. Albums. It's all just Finch. No one cares about his new shit.
I think it might be
Private Lives.
See,
yeah.
So what did I say? Secret Lives.
Yeah.
And I said Secret Band or something, and then it was Private.
Close enough, mate. Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, and it's just on Bandcamp.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then obviously Sound of Animals Fighting is just the only other...
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
Claim to fame that they have.
Yeah, that's like... And that's another thing that we've talked about before, and I'll stand on that now. Like, now that I'm older, like, I liked Sound of Animals Fighting, but then it was like, I didn't really like love it and listen to it, but now, like, I don't think I was ready to hear that.
Yeah.
Like I said, my music was just so, like, almost, musical tastes were just like, I had to be, like, perfectly in time and perfectly in tune, and, like, that was definitely wild for me to listen to. Like,
do you think that like you still like you don't branch out as much as you should? Like, say with Knock Loose, for example, you didn't like his voice at first. You were like against it, and so you kind of just disregarded them completely.
Yeah, I guess, but
and it's just been force fed to you for so long that you're like,
it's bred into me. Like, well, you know, like I've played in brass bands for like pretty much since I was like 12.
Yeah.
So it's like, like that's just like you'll get like a baton thrown at you, like if you're out of time, you know?
Yeah.
And everybody just like turns and look if you're out of tune. Like it's all just written manuscript and stuff. So to me, that was like, that's if you're playing it perfectly. Like, there's no room for like ad lib or just crazy.
Do you think that's probably why you like August Burns Red so much? Because they are so metal and out there, but they're actually so structured in everything that they do.
I reckon.
And
definitely,
like you can just tell they're just talented musicians.
And then, but besides just being like Messengers being like one of my faves. Goated albums.
Yeah, like, but do you think that's like the main, like that's just in the back of your mind as your...
Probably. I mean, subconsciously it's probably why I just like fell in love and then just blasted that album probably for like 2 years in my car on repeat. Yeah.
Do you find that you probably think like that subliminally happens with a lot of the new music that you listen to as well? Like you kind of still don't veer off?
Yeah, a little bit probably. Like I'm really into like just sort of like even with like the big fat guitar like riffs. Like,
yeah.
Obviously guitar's what I love. And that's what I like and biased to when I listen to that music.
Yeah.
Like how you like love listening to the drums and music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose that's why I liked Polaris and stuff. Like that was just an instant thing. But yeah, that's still like Polaris. Their big fat riffs are just like very, I don't know.
But they're still very structured.
Yeah, and they're like, but funky's not the right word, but it is. It's got like a real groove to it, other than being just like heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing you can really like musically put. I suppose you could call it groovy.
Yeah.
Do you know? Because put fucking distortion on it, and it's not groovy anymore. It's just like heavy as fuck.
Because you don't really fall into deathcore too much. And do you think that's purely because it's mostly just like palm muted fucking like,
well, I like chugs.
But like that's 90% of what it is. It's just fast little triplets of fucking of like
I guess like I don't know, there's lots of like tremolo and stuff in there which is just like
like,
to me that's fast and like cool and but it's probably not easy, but But yeah, I don't know.
It's not, but the thing is, it's not like, it's still, I guess when I say structured, because like obviously all music is technically structured once it's finished, because it's meant to be structured that way, so it's structured. But like,
Viator's Murder, I got the poster.
Like, so say, well, if we go by like even Hellions or Enhanced Wake, like they go by the method of like a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, a bridge,
not
like,
just like one.
Whereas like where you hear Liarda's Murder, it's like kind of like here's 3 different riffs. But the second one is a bit slower than like, and that's pretty much it. And same with Deathcore, like it's pretty much like here's 17 different riffs. Played as fast as we can.
But then like maybe, but then like my like traditional classical side of music is like they're all just like pieces of music that have like a theme running through them, but it's just from start to finish. So maybe, I don't know.
Because I've always, like, that's what I've always thought of, like, when I'm showing you new music.
Just me specifically?
Like, well, because I think that whenever I show, like, I will only try to show music that I think the person will genuinely like. Unless we're talking about music and I'm just like, here, this is what I'm talking about. But, like, I try to make sure it's something that you will agree with, and I've always just been like... I don't want to, like, because it's definitely not generic hardcore, so I don't want to be like, oh, you listen to generic hardcore, because there's definitely, like, generic hardcore that you don't, but it's a lot of very, and I can't get away from the word structured, but, like, even Electric Callboy and stuff like that, it's got the it's got the pattern of the song
just, like, an
still
actual song
in there.
Build up,
And, like, but then, it, like, there's, like, I don't know, there's ones that are... they're still structured, but it's you don't like them, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't know why you don't like this one. Like, yeah, I don't know what it is, and so that's why I'm like, is that what it could be?
There's weird, like me with like music is so nuanced. Like there's so many things where I just be like, I don't like that because I don't like the sound of his voice.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But like, not I won't pick on like Knock Loose because I really love their new album. They're sick. But like, I think it's more like if you've got like. I love the whole like singy, screamy sort of like if a vocalist can do both, but if like they've got like more of a lower baritone-y voice, that turns me off.
Like how you were saying with Sleep Token is
like that. Maybe people probably hate that. That's right. He's an idiot. Nah, I like their music is sick. Like I was listening to some of that last night. Like just old what's his name 2 on the drums.
Yeah. He's definitely like I don't know much about like them as musicians, but I think him and the lead singer are like the masterminds.
Yeah, I guess so, but I don't know much about them. But that could just be down to like even I like a good structured album as well, like where that flows.
Yeah,
but that could be another thing. Where if it's just to me, if something seems mishmashed, where I'll just go, it's so hard to listen to because it's like I'd rather just pick a track out of it, I suppose. Like I guess that's how bands release stuff these days too, eh? It's like, well, no, because I don't think that's just a thing out of like the pandemic. I guess is like how like they would release a song just to like release something.
Yeah.
Which is good in the way that it's like for bands, I guess, because
Well, I think like obviously I was bagging on pop before, but I think that's like how Post Malone actually.
Just released like bangers.
I think that's how he got big. Is like he was like talking to. I'm probably wrong with this, but he was talking to like record people and stuff, and they wanted him to release an album, and they wanted him to hold off with a single.
There you go.
And he was just like, "No, I'm just going to release it," and he released it, and it became like huge, and like that's like how it kind of all started for him.
Yeah,
is because he was just like, "I've made music. Why aren't I releasing it? Like, why am I holding on to it? It's done."
Yeah. I don't know. But like I said, music for me can just be weird. For like, there'll be one thing and I'm just like, nope.
Yeah.
But definitely like, I don't know, it's weird stuff.
But do you find? I don't know if you remember me playing Blood Brothers when we were driving to work that other morning.
Oh, who knows? Maybe.
We ride,
oh yeah.
Like, is that because they have a higher pitched voice, but it's way weirder music, so is that like counterintuitive? Like, so you kind of were interested because the voice was higher, but then it wasn't the music you were really into, so it cut it off again there?
Maybe, I don't know. But then like it's probably something I've just never picked up. Like obviously you like hang out a lot, but it's like in the days, but because
that's one thing with my music taste is give me as weird as you can, and
we'll just go from there.
And and like if you can show me, if you can surprise me, and that's why I've always liked the Chariot, is because like they follow a structure and then they'll just disregard it and chuck something else in there.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed that like chaoticness of the music, and so I guess that's probably where we really do diverge. Is you like enjoy the structure of a song, but if it's like really well done and obviously has flares and stuff in it that surprise you. But then because I was thinking about Thornhill with when they released their newer stuff, and when a breakdown normally comes for a hardcore band and they do a guitar solo, I remember the first time hearing that being like, oh, that's really interesting. And it made me be like, oh, this is different. But then when they didn't bring any of the heavy element into it was when I was like, oh, they've just changed their genre.
Depressions.
And so like so that's what I mean by like when they do something that surprises me, like with Periphery.
Like with the little jazzy bit of that new single, But that's also, like I said, that I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. Just with that's almost what I. Don't get me wrong, I love August Burns Red as well. I don't know why I bring them up all the time, but it's just like that's why I sort of like stopped liking them, is because they tried to switch it up too much. With like bringing quiet bits into it. Because, obviously, Messenger was just, full bang, whole, 100% of the time, no, let up. And just full breakdowns everywhere. But then, as soon as they, did, small little bits, I was just like, I don't know if I like this.
Because they did, a little, country...
Yeah, Leveler.
And stuff in there.
At the end of Leveler, they had some stuff like that. Yeah. But, that's, so, when I'm in the mood and I'm just, and I hear, sick guitars, a really good song, and then you just stop, I'm just like, down buzz.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just, stop the song and just do another track.
And start another track. Yeah. Do you think you would ever go to a jazz concert?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I've been to other jazz concerts.
So it's the fact of, you're listening to metal and you want it to be metal, you don't like the swapping of...
Yeah, because I feel like music, it evokes emotions and shit. So it's just if I'm in that mindset, just getting
But
don't switch it up on me.
But that's what I definitely like is because I see it as I don't know if you've ever gone to a super fancy place to eat or anything where they give you...
It doesn't look like I do.
where they give you lemon sparkling water or something to cleanse your palate so you can start the next thing.
Just give me a breather.
See, you'd rather a complete stop and then something else. Whereas, when I see that little jazz bit in Periphery and stuff like that, it's because then they go into that fucking cool afterwards, and so to me that's how I see it, is it's a little cleanser to get you into something different while staying in it.
Looking at it. I see.
Whereas you'd be I'm finished with that meal, give me a break and I'll start another meal later. That was lunch and now I want dinner kind of thing.
I guess, that's an interesting way to put it, I guess. Yeah. What else? Cool. Mm-hmm. No, don't care.
Nah.
Because I was, like I said, you introduced me to Finch. Obviously, because I wasn't one of those friends that told you to bring the album around, though. But yeah, so I was introduced, I think it was just one of those things where I had the old iPod, and then Grayson had done that, had just ripped songs onto it for me and that. And then you were like, oh yeah, listen to Finch. So I listened to Say Hello to Sunshine pretty much, and I did get hooked on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even remember which song it was that got me. I think it's literally the opening song on that album.
Insomniac, mate.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant album from start. My favourite album of all time. It's perfect.
Yeah. What? Say Hello to Sunshine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing. So when I was definitely younger, I used to do it. Grade still does it now.
Yeah.
But I used to, if you heard music that I showed you, if you were to show someone else, you had to say it was from me.
Yeah.
Whereas
just give credit, man.
Yeah. Whereas Gray would be
remember that.
Gray would be don't show anyone else because he didn't want anybody else to know.
Just gatekeeping.
Yeah. Whereas I was just as long as you say I'm the one that showed you.
Yeah. I think I got that from Gray, where I was just I don't want maybe that was just real stupid, but I don't know. I don't want anybody else finding out because I like the fact that nobody else likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird, eh?
I always thought it was so weird because he used to genuinely get angry at me when I'd show people.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, why do you not? Because in my mind, I was like, this just means they'll make more.
Yeah. Because I remember him saying that with Attack as well. He was I found these guys, they're so sick, whatever, don't show anyone else. So I was like, oh.
Yeah. Such a...
Showed Ashley straight away.
That's what made her marry me.
Get on that crab core.
Yeah.
That's still the deal.
That's so so did I specifically?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure from memory. You said listen to these guys. And then because it was just there was so much on that iPod that I had never listened to. It was we'll scroll down. Oh, there's Finch. I do have it. Listen to that. Yeah. That along with many other things, but
just an overwhelmingness of music.
But the fact that was actually, side note, it's crazy to think that he had so much music on that on that computer of his that it like filled up my 30 gig iPod video.
I have,
even back then, and it was like trash. Some of it,
I
like that full low quality.
Have a terabyte hard drive back in New Zealand.
Yeah,
over 20,000 songs, and it's there, and that's all the way up to, because I think I got Spotify in like 2016.
Yeah, and
that was purely because Norma Jean's album was coming out and I was trying to find a download for it and I couldn't find a download anywhere, and Floyd was like, oh, here it is on Spotify, and I was like, what? But it's out on Spotify, and I was like, oh, and I was and I was like, I guess like this is the way I have to do it. Yeah, and so it was like 2016.
That's crazy.
Polar similar. So that was what got me. Yeah. Norma Jean is what got me Spotify. But yeah, so pretty much all the way up to 2016, from what, age 13 maybe. Yeah. All my downloaded songs I have. Yeah, over 20,000 songs.
That's funny. Yeah. I was thinking about this the other night, just like thinking about, because obviously like back then it was all just downloaded, being from New Zealand. Like, there was like, you would never get an album. It cost way too much to ship. Like an album to New Zealand, like a CD. So it was always just like, oh, let's just like search LimeWire and like risk getting a virus.
Always download.
Yeah, download that shit. And I justify now that like when bands come to town and I'll buy their like tickets to their concerts and buy as much. Like at least,
I think merch and stuff is the way to do it. Yeah. Especially like having friends in like local bands and stuff where they've been like, merch is where we. Like, they don't really... Touring's more just to get their name out there. Yeah. And then the merch is where they actually do kind of...
especially for the smaller bands.
Yeah. And so that's why they always, like... You see them running their own merch table and stuff. Because they're like, fuck, we need to make some money, from this.
Yeah. No, they... I justify that now by just going wild at concerts with, like, merch.
Yeah.
So you'll see that in a couple of weeks' time. If they've got some good stuff.
Yeah, hopefully they will.
But, hey, at least...
We got another couple of concerts.
Look, if I didn't download that music, they wouldn't be making money of me now.
Yeah.
It was an investment.
Yeah. They invested by...
letting me download illegally.
You could probably just give them like $2 and be like, I illegally downloaded this. Like, this is how much you would have made from me buying the album, probably.
By inflation. That's crazy. That's another thing that buzzed me out. Well, that's a chat for another time though, about Spotify and streaming and shit. Like, I think that just like came on way quick, but we'll leave that. But yeah, well. Do you want to talk about anything else from Finch, mate?
Nah, just that people need to listen to them more, and I don't know like them, and I never will, but I hope that there's another like Say Hello to Sunshine in there somewhere that they can bring out,
even if it's just one song.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anything else that I can think of for you? You pretty much covered it all. You did good research.
That's not even really. That's just me loving Finch.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Just chatting shit on the internet. If you want to like and subscribe to us. I feel so lame saying that shit, but we promised more dog stuff. They're just crazy and we didn't want them in here for the first time we were recording, so dang, that's gross. Okay, bye everyone. Bye.